Jen, I think you said yesterday you'd like to see the game close the last couple of minutes of those two, right? So it kind of came down to that, right?
Yeah.
Was it fun? Was it disappointing? What did it leave you with?
Yeah. The second half. Yeah, the second half was more fun. I'm really proud of the team that they came out of the locker room to play in the second half. Kind of disappointed and not at all happy with the team that came out to start the game. So we gotta figure out what the difference is between those two teams. Yeah, we can hold them to less points in the second half than they scored in the first quarter. So, you know, a lot of great things to be proud of that second half that we can build on. You know, obviously we played a really good team that shot the ball really, really well in the first half and gave themselves that big cushion. So I you know, obviously they got a little bit of everything that they can throw at you, and we just have to get better. You know, we have to get better at some of the things that we need to get better, because we don't look like them, so we can't necessarily just do things. You know, we got to do them right, and we got to execute better. I thought the execution part in the first half was just as bad as I've seen in a few years here at Connecticut. So it's not that we can't, because we spend 20 minutes doing it. You know, if you look at the stats, you can't really pick anything apart, you know, but I don't know that the stats tell the whole story. But again, we were tied with 2:40 or something like that left in the game, and, you know, we had a chance and didn't win.
To have two bona fide stars like with Paige and JuJu going at it in a game where it's a sold out arena and it's on prime time. I mean, this kind of shows the growth of women's basketball. Just what is that like to watch it? I mean, we all watched it too, but to see it.
It's obviously a moment that has happened a lot in this building. It's just that not as many people were paying attention, you know, outside the building. So I'm happy that we can put two players like that on the floor, and that the whole country's familiar with and wants to see, you know, play well, and they both have their unique styles of playing. And as I was driving in today to the game, it brought back to me the very first game we played here. Might have been 86 or 87, I don't even know. It was a doubleheader. We played like at 5 p.m. and then we're going to play at maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock, I don't know. Or maybe we even played at 4:30, I don't know. And I don't think there were 100 people in the building. I don't. And to drive up here and know that there's going to be 16,000 people here, plus the game on national television, it doesn't seem like that. You know, we're talking about the same universe, but this is what's happened, and this is where we are today, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
The second half, it seemed like you guys did a lot better job doubling JuJu, which is the ball on the floor.
what you like about the defense then, and how difficult was it to see you guys here?
Yeah, I think anytime, you have somebody that you're trying to limit, trying to minimize how many opportunities they get, you're going to have to give up something else, and the decisions that we make sometimes backfire, but the other team has to make it backfire, which means that all the people that we're helping off of, they're going to get opportunities and they have to make shots. But you can't get upset at your team for that, because that's what you wanted to do. The dilemma comes when they start making shots and the guy you're trying to limit is still getting shots off, So credit to them, because they took advantage of what we wanted to do. We changed it up a little bit in the second half, and obviously it worked much better.
Maggie and Roger. After the Notre Dame loss, you said one of the biggest reasons was a lack of contributions from everyone else. How did you feel everybody, especially your guards, contributed today who weren't starters?
Well, it's funny because I said the same thing, and you look at their two best players had 25 and 16. Ours had 22 and 22, and then their guys had 6, 9, 5, 6, 5, and our guys had 9, 5, 5, 5, 2. Not that big a difference, right? But in order for us to win, generally speaking, we it's when do you make them, and it's also how many ways do you have to score. They could score inside on us today, which we understand that, but they made threes they don't make, so that ends up being the margin in the end, because we shot more free throws. We made more free throws than them. But in these games, if we don't make more threes than the other team, it's going to be really hard for us to win. Really hard.
Roger.
Two things. You said, first of all, you saw a lot of great things in the second half. What were those great things? And then Sarah, a lot of people look at this game and remember that she missed free throws at the end, but the overall performance she had tonight really seemed like she matured.
Well, she's always been mature, and she's always had that game. And I think she's devastated at the second free throw. The third one she missed on purpose, so that doesn't matter. But the second one's the one that bothers her. But just the fact that that's where she was at that moment in a game like this, and how she plays and how she performs, and the fact that we go to her in big moments, that says a lot of what I think of her. What we did in the second half, we ran some stuff that we actually practiced. Like, we didn't make up an offense and then run out there and try to run it. Like, in the second half, the ball moved, people moved, we got the shots we wanted. We got shots from where we wanted to get them, by who we wanted to get them. And as I said, the entire first half, there was none of that. Zero. When I say you're exaggerating, no, I mean there's zero of that. The first half was just a mishmash of, and the average person said, well, why is that? Well, I'm an average person too, and I would say, yeah, why is that?
Emily McDaniel.
It seemed like KK really kind of powered that comeback for you guys in the third quarter. Just can you speak a little bit to her impact defensively, and then what led you to move away from her in the fourth?
If you're struggling on the defensive end like we were, I do think you got to change up the way the game's being played, and we talked to KK a lot about that. That one of her biggest roles should be to come in and disrupt the game and change the way the game is played. And I thought she did that. And we did it as a team. But she has the physical ability to do a lot more And today she did. That leads to her getting some opportunities, and obviously it led to us getting a lot of opportunities.
You've been saying to this point in the season that once you get through this stretch, get to Christmas, you're going to have a much better idea of
Yeah.
what your team is. So now that we're here, where do you feel your team is?
Well, if you look at our first half team, we're nowhere. If you look at our second half team, we're a really, really good basketball team that can probably beat anybody in the country. So I lied. I don't know any more now than I did when I told you that I would know before Christmas. But obviously certain things are evident, right? You know, we have to get more contributions from our bigs. We have to continue to work on, you know, our younger guys not getting like this, you know, when it gets, like when shots aren't falling right away, to stay patient. But all in all, it's if I just focus on the first half, then I would be really disappointed going into the holidays. But if I take it as half of that and then the other half, I really, really think can help us win any game that we play. But we just can't put ourselves in holes like that. So I know we're going to fight. I just don't want to wait until we're bloodied and half beaten up before we start fighting.
Alexa, that's T.
Kiki Copeland, Washington Post. What was your impression of Kiki Auriemma and the challenges that she presented today?
Same as, very similar to when she was at Stanford, you know, and similar to when she was in high school. There's a limit on what you can do because she's so quick and so powerful. So if we can keep her, we thought if we could keep her outside the lane and make her take shots without getting 2 feet in the lane, that would be to our advantage, and she made a bunch of those. So now all of a sudden you have to come out a little bit, and now her quickness starts to become a factor, and then she's matched up a lot in the second half against one of her, you know, Sarah as a freshman, and I think she showed her experience and how to get position and how to get the shots you want. And there's nothing that she did today that surprised me, because I've always had so much respect for her as a player. But her strength and her quickness, and if she starts making that open 15, 16 footer, then it's lights out.
Geno, two kind of maybe related questions. First, another game where you guys just couldn't really hit any shots from three. It's kind of happened in some of these bigger games too. So, I mean, is that just a matter of you guys are hoping Daisy can help with that when she's fully back, or how can you fix that?
Yeah. That's the $1 million question, right? How do you learn to make these in these games? And as I said, how many we get tonight? 24?
23.
6 for 23. That's on 62 shots. That's about the ratio that we want. But I don't know that. I want to see how many of them were like great and how many of them were like mediocre. So if we continue to get great ones, I mean, I think we're a good three-point shooting team, but I can't keep saying that. We have to prove it, and not just one night. You know, we got to do it more than one night. So, then what else?
You went to the Chelly Sarah lineup in
Yeah.
the second half. But you're also saying you hope like your bigs, the other bigs, can contribute more. So
Yeah.
how are you gonna balance,
Yeah,
getting
that's-
contributions for them?
That's another one. Yeah, I always believe in people, that I think that they can do what we need them to do, and we've said that we're going to be the team that we want to be if we're getting contributions from those guys. What does that mean? Well, they have to be able to make a 15-footer. They've got to be able to keep the ball out of the lane. So if we're playing 5 against 4 because we can't get any offense out of them, and we need offense, so it's tough to play that, you know. So I hope that we can continue. I mean, I know they're both young, and I know Jen is a freshman, but if we can find a way to get some consistency where we feel comfortable throwing the ball in the lane and we think you can get a basket, then that takes a lot of pressure off of our guards. Right now, there's too much pressure on. So I got to figure that one out. That's all me and the coaching staff.
Just going back to Sarah, what was your message to her post game? Was it what you just kind of told us a few minutes ago, or do you wait to kind of discuss the kind of late game moment and how to move forward?
Yeah. I mean, when I see these things, I see a kid that, you know, some people run from the flame, you know, and other kids run to it. She wants to be in that situation. She relishes that situation. Nobody's more disappointed than she is right now in that moment. But I would put her in that moment every single game for the rest of the season and have confidence that, you know, she's going to come through. So, yeah, this is not something that is going to sit well with Sarah, but hopefully only for a day or two.
Coach Team here. Can you just talk about JuJu and kind of how she stacks up against, you know, other elite players in the country now, but also just kind of in all of your career where she stands in terms of like top talent you've seen?
You know, I don't. Obviously, I don't see her enough. You know, we played them twice now, but every scouting report that you put together or every film that you watch, it's very evident that one player can't guard her. You know. You have to hope she helps you. You have to hope she misses. And when she gets a little bit of a rhythm, like she got in that first half, it's really, really difficult to, like any good player. And she's certainly, you know, a tremendous, tremendous guard. So yeah, there's qualities that she has that are just unique. You know, there haven't been many. You know, at a young age but, you know, you would probably have to ask somebody that's younger than me. I've probably seen too many. More than I care to.
You know, she played a few minutes, but just what did AZ bring tonight going forward? Is she progressing where you hope she'll be after Christmas?
I don't know. I think AZ's obviously a high-level elite player, and I do believe that when we get her 100% healthy and ready to go, that certainly enhances our team tremendously. Not having played and maybe a couple practices, yeah, I love to have her out there. I just choose not to today, for whatever reason.